got two people waiting. Hi everyone, welcome in. We're going to hang out just a bit to get everyone trickling in here, and then we will get going with today's webinar. Perfect. You can see my screen okay, Lucy? Okay. Hello to those of you hopping in. We're going to give everyone just a little bit of time, and we'll start around 1 o'clock. Let our attendee list kind of fill in here, get live on Facebook, and get everyone kind of settled in here and ready to go. All right, we've got a few people. I expect some people to kind of come through. It is Good Friday. I guess that's a holiday. People may be kind of busy doing Easter stuff as well. We'll see. No worries though. Just as a reminder, everyone attending today will get a recording of the webinar today, copy of Lucy's slides, a copy of my own slides and other resources as well as a training certificate. So it's 1 o'clock Mountain Time, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the All Things ECE with ELV webinar series. Today, we have Brain Building with Vroom, how to give children the best start in life with free science-based tips and tools with Lucy Sofer with Parent Possible with us today. If you are new to ELV, my name is Milena Miner. I'm our membership and marketing coordinator on the team. If you're also new to ELV in general, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we help childcare providers of all sizes, homes, small centers, large centers with their day-to-day admin duties through our Alliance Core childcare management system. So if ELV is new to you and you'd like a demo, or just feel free to ask questions, my email is here as well, and you'll also get that contact information sent to you too. So here's some just high-level features of what the Alliance Core system can do if you are new to the system itself. It is cloud-based, so you can access on any device that you have internet as well as your phone. And do be sure and download those mobile apps if you haven't done so already. It's very user-friendly and intuitive for everyone kind of in the realm of using the Alliance Core app, if that's the staff, the parent, the guardian, whoever they may be. And I sound like a broken record, but if you are not currently using the ELV resource platform, the Shared Services Resource Hub, it is completely free for any childcare provider based, or any childcare professional, you don't have to be a provider, based in Colorado, kind of a one-stop shop knowledge hub for all things ECU related things, or savings tools, discounts, templates, all kinds of marketing things as well. So feel free to be sure and register for an account on there, and our team will approve that account if you have not done so already. And then I'll hand it off to Lucy. Thanks so much. I'll end my screen share and you can start yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me start my screen. It's great to see people here. Thank you for joining us on a Friday lunch, and I think it could be a long weekend for more than we know. Can you see my orange screen?
Yes, good to go.
Great, awesome. I'm gonna jump in and introduce myself. So I'm Lucy Sofer. I'm the Vroom Partner Manager, and in my role, I share lots of materials, I do lots of trainings and presentations and conferences, and I try to get the word out about Vroom across Colorado as much as I can. So I'm really excited to share Vroom with you today and what we have to offer families. And it's not just in Colorado, it's across the state. And I'll talk a little bit more, but it's in projects internationally as well. I do love questions, so please feel free to put them in the chat box anytime. Milena can interrupt me. That's what I like. And what I'm hoping to cover today is just to introduce Parent Possible and obviously Vroom, what I'm here to share. Talk a little bit about what we're up to in Colorado and where our goals are, and then really get into Vroom's free resources, how you can use Vroom in your community, with families that you work with, in your own work yourself. We have lots of different ways to access Vroom, so I'll do a Vroom demonstration and share with you lots of our amazing brain building resources that we use as well. So let's begin with Parent Possible and Vroom. We are a nonprofit. We're based in Denver, and we have a mission to equip parents of young children with the tools and information they need to be their child's most valuable teacher, their most valuable trainer, their mentor in life. So we really believe learning starts in the home, just like you guys. And we've got a few different ways that we try and achieve our mission. We have Parents as Teachers and Hippie. These are 2 home visiting programs, And we are the state office in Colorado for these home visiting programs. So you may have seen these logos before. We also do some advocacy and policy work with the Colorado Home Visiting Coalition. And about 5 years ago, we brought Vroom to our beautiful state of Colorado. So to introduce Vroom, I've got a really short 2-minute video, and it really brings the heart of what Vroom is all about and does a much better job than me. So I'm going to check I'm sharing my sound and turn it over to the video.
Yes, and I'm gonna hang up the jackets, okay? I'm really rushing all the time. I don't have enough time just to sit down with them.
Being a full-time mom and having a full-time job, it's not easy. I always worry, am I doing enough with my kids? Am I doing the important stuff that they need?
Can't imagine what is in here.
It feels really powerful.
You guys.
You already have all it takes.
Maybe I just didn't look at it that way because I always want better.
Do you put your feet in them?
No.
No? I know that I can do it.
Which one is rough?
This one.
It's amazing the little things that we do. We don't even realize we're teaching our kids.
You did it, Mom.
Yay! Good job.
You don't really think of brain development at that young of an age, you know, when you're 3 months old.
No, it's you.
Great. I always smile every time I watch that video, but it really brings the message of what Vroom is all about, and that's helping parents recognize their own ability in being a teacher and being a brain builder in their children's lives, and recognizing that those brain building opportunities are all around us and that any moment can be turned into a brain building moment. So Vroom wasn't actually developed by us. It's developed by the Bezos Family Foundation in Seattle, Washington. They are also another nonprofit education-focused program. They have a few different programs in education, and Vroom is one of them. And what they did was they worked with all of these people that you can see on your screen. So from neuroscientists to child development experts, starting with parents, and they came together and they amalgamated everything that we know about children's brain development from birth to 5, and they put all of that information not only in an easy way for families and parents to understand, but into actionable ways that parents can do to make a positive difference in their child's development. So they've taken all that information, they turned it into over 1,000 science-based brain building activities that will boost children's brain development to help prepare them for school, for friends, and for life. And they've called it Vroom. We have Vroom available in 17 different languages, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that later. We have a Vroom app, a Vroom by text platform, a Vroom website. We have YouTube and social media content to share. We have free print materials, which are in different languages, like flyers and posters and decals. And then we also have some public installations, and we've been really working hard on getting more public installations out there. That's kind of when we go into like an environment like a museum and deck it out with Vroom decals and brain building activities. And I can show you some examples of that a little bit later as well. So we've spoken a little bit about what Vroom is, but I haven't actually shown you what does a Vroom tip look like. So we call the activities tips, and there's over 1,000 of them. They all look the same. They have an activity or a tip on the left, and then the brainy background on the right. The brainy background is what's really special, the science part of Vroom. That's letting families or parents know what skills they're building in their children and why would they play this game? Why would they do what they're doing? For me, as a preschool teacher, for me, it's like a teacher voice. And research has showed that if people understand the why and the reasons behind they do what they do, they're more likely to re-engage, which is exactly what we need in the early years, repetition. So I'm just gonna enlarge my screen so I can see it, but I'm gonna spend a couple minutes just reading this tip. It's one of my favorites. It says, using an empty shoebox or other container, have your child put some special items inside to help them calm down. So maybe like a special book or a blanket or maybe a favorite toy. Have them decorate the box so when they're feeling upset, remind them to use their calm down kit. So the brainy background tells parents why you would do this. It says it helps to make a calm down kit before the upset feelings happen. You're helping your child plan for how to handle stress so they can take action in a difficult moment. This will give them more control, and it also builds skills important to tackling challenges. So we have tips like this, anything from diaper changing to mealtime to bath time to riding in the car or a school drop-off, or a self-regulation tip like this. We have a tip for every single moment of the day to support parents in their parenting journey. Another thing to note is this one has a suggested age range of 2.5 to 5 years. Vroom is based from birth to up until age 6. And if you have the Vroom texting platform or the Vroom app, you can put in a date of birth. So families are getting developmentally appropriate tips for their child's age. Or if you're a teacher and you want to use this in the classroom, you can add in the ages of the children that you work with as well. The brainy background here explains how this interaction really builds the child's brains and what skills they are learning. And Vroom is based in science. So it's really important for us to share those skills and those those areas of development, so families know exactly what's happening when they play these fun play-based games with their children. Here is a map of the US. Hopefully you can see that we're being used all across the US. So although I'm talking a lot about Colorado today, if you're joining us and you're from out of state, please know that we have Vroom activators all over in nearly every state. And I'll make sure that you have my contact details. So if you do need to reach out, there'll be another one of me where you are, and we can make sure, Milana and I can make sure we connect you with what we call a Vroom activator. But also in some projects internationally, it's amazing having the app because anyone from anywhere can download it as well. In Colorado, we're one of the states that really lead the way with Vroom, and we measure that by the number of app users we have, the number of Vroom partners we have, and the number of installations that we have as well. So focusing in on Colorado, we have over 165 community partners helping us share Vroom, and we're in 58 counties here in Colorado. So hopefully you can see that map. We are partnered with so many different organizations from so many different sectors, home visiting programs to schools and libraries, to a healthcare clinic, to a museum and the local park. And we do this purposely because Vroom is all about being in the moments with parents and meeting them where they're at. So we need to be where they are. So whether they're doing the grocery shopping or doing the school drop-off or sitting at the doctor's office waiting for a child checkup, there's a Vroom activity, a brain building moment to do. So by us being where families are, we're with them in their daily daily journey. And I've got a few visuals now, so you can see what that looks like. So this is an example of a family resource center that has a home visiting program. So maybe a home visiting teacher goes to a home, helps the family download the Vroom app, or shares it at a local event. We've got lots of Vroom swag, which I'll show you later, and they hand out Vroom that way. We also work with Cooking Matters, and I know Cooking Matters work with Early Learning Ventures as well. We've co-branded this resource. Meal times are an amazing time to invite children in, to get them engaged and get them brain building. So we have a special Cooking Matters and Vroom poster that we can share at the end of the Cooking Matters classes. We also love to go to libraries. So many Vroom tips are, some of the foundational Vroom tips are through early literacy. So it makes sense for us to be with libraries and in the children's libraries areas. This is the Douglas County Library System. We've co-branded again with them and created some of their favorite tips in posters for them to have on display. And this is something we can definitely do easily enough that if you're like, okay, if I find my favorite tips, can you do this for me? Yes, we can. So let us know. We really love to co-brand and highlight some of our Vroom tips that make sense in the right environments. Here's some decals. This is the New Legacy Charter School. I'll show you these decals later. Everyone's received a set, but these are Vroom activities that are interactive and they're printed on stickers. They go really amazing in diaper changing areas, in corridors, anywhere where parents are, in the classrooms, anywhere they can see these tips and just be reminded of Vroom and the games that they can play. This is the Children's Museum. This is in Denver, Colorado. They've done a huge installation here and Vroom is woven throughout a family's experience, actually from the moment they are in the parking lot all the way through. Even yet again, I've got another bathroom picture, and there's a great brain building moment, washing hands, right? So there's lots of Vroom activities throughout museums as well, because they're all about exploratory play and play-based learning. This is one of our newer healthcare settings, Denver Public Health. They've been able to transform their waiting area into a brain building activity. So when families are waiting to see a specialist, they can engage with their children in the waiting rooms. And then this is one of our bigger installations again. This is the Children's Hospital of Colorado in Aurora. And they've transformed their waiting areas and their corridors into fun, brain building Vroom games, and really brought Vroom to life with lots of different activities to do as well. One of our latest Vroom initiatives has been to create park signs with all the wonderful Colorado trails that we have, and getting families outdoors and engaging with their children outside. Here they are in real life. We've got some amazing Vroom signs to put into environments, and we're always looking for new areas to add these as well. So if any of these photos ever have just spurred an idea, please tell me. You can drop it in the chat and I can see it later. We're always looking for new ways to engage with families across the state with Vroom activities. So I'm going to focus a little bit now on the science behind Vroom. And I know we're not, I won't be able to see people shout out or put hands up, but I just thought we could pause for a second and just have a look at this poll. It says, when a baby is born, how many neurons are already formed and waiting to connect with each other? So we have options here, so you can just think them through. A is 100. B is 100,000, C is 100 million, and D is 100 billion. How many neurons are already formed and waiting to connect? This is just for fun, don't panic. I won't be calling anyone out. And there's a hint, it says an adult's brain is 3 times the size and has about 50 billion neurons. Those neurons that I'm talking about are information messengers. So they use electrical impulses and chemical signals, and then they transmit information between different areas of the brain, and then from the brain to the rest of the nervous system. So we have plenty of them. Right. I normally right now be like, all hands up for this, but basically I'll do the reveal. The answer is, hopefully people are thinking A, B, or C, or D. The answer is D, 100 billion neurons. It's incredible considering an adult's brain is 3 times the size and has only 50. So babies are born with such tremendous potential to connect, to learn, to engage and develop. It's truly amazing. I love to share brain facts. So here's a couple more. The brain is wired to grow. We know this. In the first 5 years of life, it makes more than 1 million neural connections every second. A 1-week-old baby brain will gain about 2/3 of an ounce of mass every day. And then by 3 years old, a baby's brain will have grown to 80% of its potential size. I'm pretty sure by 5 years old, it's 90% of its potential size. So it quadruples in size between 1 month and 3 years. It's really incredible just to think about that vast amount of growth. And in the human lifespan, these first few years of life is when our brains grow and develop the most rapid, the fastest of all time. So thinking about this and all this potential and how incredible children's brains are, we need to get them off to the best start we can in life. So Vroom's Brain Trust has used this foundation and incorporated 3 key scientific principles into every single Vroom tip. So I'm excited to share them with you now. You won't be surprised. Number 1, promoting positive relationships, right? Learning truly starts with positive relationships. We know that children thrive in positive environments. They need lots and lots of encouragement. So Vroom tips use reaffirming messages that will help bring parents and children closer together and help learn through that close bond. Secondly, serve and return responses. That's like going back and forth. I like to think of that as a tennis match where you go back and forth. Maybe for a baby, that could look like eye contact or hand movements, that nonverbal communication when you're playing games. Maybe with a 5-year-old, that's like a bug hunt, and you're looking for new bugs in the mud, in the soil, and you're asking about their habitats and what they need to survive. And you're using those open-ended questions to have that back and forth interaction. And then the third key scientific principle is promoting executive functioning skills. We talk about getting ready for school, getting ready for friends, getting ready for what's coming up, right? All the time. And we spend a lot of time, rightly so, focused on numeracy. Can we count? Can we count to 10? How's our reading skills? Do we know any phonetic letters and sounds? Can we write our name? Can we recognize our name? These are all really important skills, but so is learning to focus, learning self-control, learning reasoning skills, being confident to take on new challenges, right? So when a child enters the classroom, are they ready to sit down and listen and learn? These are super important skills which can really determine success in school for some children. And Vroom does a really good job of developing these skills through play, and then using those activities and those brainy backgrounds to tell families exactly what they're all about. So I went through some of our, although we have 1,000 tips, I went through a few, and I wanted to share a few examples. So for this one, for positive relationships, helping build that bond, I just want to share this one. This is called the dream story. I pulled it from the bedtime routine. So if you ever have a family say, last night couldn't get the bedtime routine's not going well, maybe you could say, hey, try Vroom, try a new activity, try a new idea. This one says, at bedtime, ask your child, what do you want to dream about tonight? Do you want to dream about your going away to a really far away place or do something special? Encourage them to tell you as many details as they can imagine. Then share a dream story of your own, because remember that back and forth information is key for brain building, making sure that people take turns. The brainy background says, taking time to slow down and think encourages your child to use focus and control their behavior. Coming up with dream stories also encourages your child's creative thinking. Bedtime routines not only help build your child's brain, but they're going to strengthen the bond that you have together. So this one's aimed at 4 to 5 years, and it's a really nice idea. Instead of reading a story every night, maybe you try and create a dream story of your own, and that really focuses on slowing down and building that bond between parents and children. Here's one of my favorite tips for serve and return responses. It says 1, 2 foods. Pick 2 foods, 2 food words. We've got here banana and apple, and make a word pattern 2 times. So repeat with your child, banana, apple, banana, apple. Have them pick 2 food words and make their own pattern 2 times. So maybe they could pick fork and spoon and say fork and spoon, fork and spoon. Talk about which word comes first and then which word comes second. So the brainy background here tells parents, when your child is choosing words, listening to words and making patterns with you, they're creating and then using a rule. Understanding and applying rules and patterns help them with those early math concepts. So just a quick mealtime game. You could even play this at school, sitting down and making some fun word patterns with the items that children can see in front of them. This is aimed at 2 to 3 years. It would be super easy to make this a little bit more advanced by adding an extra word and having an ABC pattern instead of just an AB pattern. And it can be, what's really great is that this can just be a 1-minute game, or maybe children really love playing with the words and creating their own patterns, and maybe it turns into a 10-minute game. It doesn't matter. It's all just about having fun and having these learning opportunities in the daily routine. And then the last, promoting executive functioning skills. This one's called the Picture Detective, based for 2 to 4-year-olds. Encourage your child to be a picture detective. Look at a picture in a book or magazine, and it can be even in a newsletter or in an ad or on a bus or a train. Talk about the picture together. Can you find certain objects? And then ask questions like, look at that boy's face. How do you think he feels? The brainy background tells parents, pictures help your child make connections to understand that the words have meaning. Having them look closely builds focus and self-control. So the example here also helps them to learn to recognize other people's feelings. I feel like that's the perfect teacher talk, right? When we're reading stories all the time, we're pausing and asking those questions. Well, this is just sharing that same activity with parents for you. All of these are like games that we probably play all the time. And hopefully when parents read these types of activities, they're like, oh, I do that, which is amazing, because it gives them the encouragement to know that they are brain building, and hopefully then it brings them new ideas as well. So that's some of my favorite tips. I'm going to show you how to reach all 1,000 more. They're all really easily accessible, but there's another short video I'm going to share, which just shows an example of how we bring Vroom into the school environment.
If you're doing relationship-based, play-based work in your classroom, Vroom is going to be something that folds in perfectly, can actually make your job easier when it comes to parent education, because there's all these tips right there for parents to use that, you know, teachers don't have to create, but that are going to naturally support the work that they're doing. The thing that is such a challenge, I think, for teachers is to realize, how do I help parents see that, like, it isn't really magic. There's actually something behind it. There's science behind it, and there's some skills that you can acquire as parents. And so I think that I saw Vroom as this opportunity to hand something to parents that wouldn't just require them to be sitting next to me in the classroom.
We got little note cards first, and it just had like little tips that you could do. And then we got the app. You will look at it, and it kind of makes you feel better as a parent, because you're like, okay, I'm kind of doing these things already. And then it just gives you a way to maybe take it a little bit further, or it kind of explains to you why it's important to repeat that behavior. So like at the grocery store, it'll say, point out things to your child and discuss those with your child. And then you're like, oh, I already do that. And then it'll tell you why that's important, what skills you're working on, and how you could maybe make it more, even more educational.
So it also helps build that teacher-parent relationship, because now there is a thing that they are talking about on a day-to-day basis, or maybe once a week. We have teachers that have been using Vroom tips in their newsletters that they send out directly to parents. And so it almost becomes like a homework assignment in a way.
When I spend a long time in the classroom with parents, they start to pick up on some of those things. Light bulbs go off, but I think I saw Vroom as this amazing way to send something home with parents that they could start to use every day, and then to see that could sort of click for them.
As a parent and as a parent educator, I run into so many families and they feel like, oh, this is not gonna work for me. I can't pay for a monthly subscription. I'm not able to do this. I don't have internet. You know, it's just not gonna work for me right now. When I get a job, it will work. No. You are able to do this right now, right in this moment. And so to see a mom light up, or a dad light up, or a grandparent light up and know this is something that's gonna be free to them, really works, and it's gonna be natural for you, I love being able to give somebody that feeling that somebody gave me.
That basically just shows how easy it is to add this into your already everyday. And it's definitely not something that's supposed to be extra work. It's already made and it's already there. It's just supposed to slide into what you do already. So that's Vroom in a nutshell, the science of what it's all about. And now I want to just to pause, let me know if there's any questions coming through, but I'm going to share with you how we share Vroom. We have physical resources, we have environmental resources, we have digital resources, and we're going to actually have a look at the app together so you can get some ideas yourself as well. As I talk through, let me know if you do have questions. I said right at the beginning, Vroom is in 17 languages. So what I mean by that is we have everything available in English and in Spanish. That involves the app, that is also the texting platform. We also have all the decals that I can show you as well. And then we have flyers, posters and tip packets of these Vroom tips in the other languages that you can see on your screen. These are all super easy and free to get to. I should also say, as I'm talking about what is free, everything is free. So as a partner, you have access to this for free. So whatever I show you and you think I want that, we can make sure you get it as well. We also have a few of the blue, you can see Arabic, Chinese, Russian and French, along with English and Spanish. I've highlighted blue. We're set to release the app in these languages later in the year. So we're really working on trying to reach as many families as we can. Next, I'm going to show you resources that you have for your organization. Hopefully you will be like, hey, I've seen some of these, because we've actually sent these resources out and they were delivered at the end of February. And if you haven't seen them, go ask around and say, hey, who gets deliveries, especially here in Colorado, because we've got these out for everyone. So these are the Vroom tip card rings that were shared in the video. They're wallet sized. There's about 5 activities for each age range, from birth through to end of age 5, so 6. And what's really nice about these, when you're introducing Vroom or when you're introducing anything, you just want to show someone how easy it is to use anything, right? So by using a Vroom tip, you can just do an activity in the moment and show families how easy they are to access and how easy they are to do. They don't require money, fancy gadgets. They don't require a lot of time. They're all to be done in the moment with either things you have at home or things you'll find outside, or just engaging in that brain building. So these are really great tools that you can just share a couple activities, and then hopefully families are like, that's useful. And then you can say, download the app. There's 1,000 more. The decal sets are next. We saw those earlier. They were up in the Children's Museum and at the new Legacy Charter School. They're 8-inch final activities. They've also been sent out in Colorado. They're the activities printed on them. They're in English and in Spanish. So really lovely to add to waiting areas, or if you do parent drop-offs in classrooms, you can put them near the parent board. Lots of different ways to use them. Not only can you use them and do the activities on them, they're really nice just to remind families about Vroom, right? They'll just see that little Vroom game and be like, I've got that. Maybe I'll try a Vroom tip later. So they can be really nice to just spark that memory as well. They work really well with the posters on the right-hand side. You already have what it takes, and communication is key. These are everything here is bilingual, so they're English and Spanish. We just want parents to know this, right? These are important messages. You already have what it takes. Yes, we want families to see that when they're coming to do their school drop-off or pick-up, and that communication is key for brain building. These are super important messages that go really nicely with those Vroom activities. I can see how do we get these cards? Thanks, Janet. So we hope we have sent out these cards. So please just ask your organization or your where you are if you have any. And if not, I'll make sure that you have my contact details, so I know who needs what. Maybe Milana will help me organize that. She's nodding. Thank you. Perfect. So next we have Vroom resources. These are resources for families. They're bilingual again, and we can hand these out in bulk. And I'm actually just going to skip forward a few times because we have these flyers and we've already co-branded. I've got here, you can add your logo and co-brand this flyer. We've already done that with Early Learning Ventures. So I can talk it through. We have it digitally, and we've also sent it to the physical locations as well. But what we love about this flyer is that it's got a couple points at the top, so you can introduce Vroom. Anyone can pick this up and share what Vroom is quickly. We know it's busy, right? Drop off and pick up. You're doing lots of things and you're handing over. There might not be too much time to talk, but there's definitely 20 seconds to be like, hey, if you need help with bedtime or mealtime tonight, try this. So there's a couple of sentences to talk about Vroom. And then there's 2 different ways families can access Vroom. The blue QR code takes them to the Vroom app, and then the red QR code takes them to the texting platform. What's been really nice is we've co-branded this flyer and we've added unique QR codes. So if you're interested in finding out your outreach or how many families maybe access Vroom from you sharing it, and what impact you're having, we can give you you can talk to us and we can get the data for this. So you can be like, okay, out of 20 families, 15 of them have started using the Vroom app at home to support their parenting journey as well. So that's been really nice for us and for partners that we have to measure how it's going. And there's also a short testimonial, and we're going to be giving away gift cards for parents who love Vroom and let us know about it. So that's another thing at the bottom, and it goes really nicely with this next flyer. This teaches parents 5 ways that any moment would be a brain building moment. And when I first read this, I was like, oh, it's like a lesson plan. This is perfect. Why didn't I have this a few years ago? But there's 5 boxes. Look at what a child's interested in. Follow their lead. Chat, which is that back and forth interaction, and take turns when you're playing games, and then stretching out those moments. So by following and engaging in what children are interested in, parents can learn that that's how they're brain building. And I've got a really nice short video that I think we've got plenty of time, so I'm going to play that one as well, so you can just see how easy it is for families to grasp that concept.
Being a dad, it's not easy. Learning how to balance everything.
You know, I question myself every day if I'm being good to her, if I'm doing the right thing for her, if I'm teaching her the right stuff.
The brain develops most rapidly in the first 5 years of life. During this time, children will form the foundation for lifelong learning.
Vroom showed us that we didn't have to put more on our plate. It's about what we already do, trying to make those moments worth it.
From the moment your baby is born, the interactions you share with them can help strengthen the connections that build their brain. Vroom has worked with scientists and experts to turn this brain-building science into something simple. Something that doesn't change what you do with your child, but how you do it. We call it the 5 brain-building basics. Look, even before babies can talk, they're showing you what they're interested in. Look into their eyes or at what catches their eye and begin brain building. Follow. Powerful brain-building moments are created when you let children lead the way, and you follow by responding to their words, sounds, actions, and ideas. Chat. It may not seem like it, but the sounds and gestures young children make are their way of communicating with you, so talk out loud together, even if they can't talk yet, and keep chatting as your children grow, engaging them and learning about the world around them. Take turns. Back and forth interactions between you and your children are one of the most important ways to help their brains develop. So be sure to take turns while you're talking, playing, or exploring with your children. Stretch. Make the moment last longer by building on what your child says or asking follow-up questions that expand your child's thinking and learning. When you stretch the conversation with questions like, "What do you think about that?" or "How does that make you feel?" you're stretching the brain-building moments too. By partnering with families, brands, and community organizations, Vroom is here to help trigger brain-building interactions between you and your child, using the moments you already share together.
You've actually taught your child something when you don't think you're teaching. He's learned something new and he's still learning.
When she gets something, it makes me feel like I'm the best mom in the world.
You already have what it takes to be a brain builder. After all, when you look down at them, there's a reason they're already looking up to you. Vroom. Make any moment a brain-building moment.
Great. So any moment can be a brain-building moment. And those 5 easy steps is all we need to do. So that poster is really nice for families to maybe put on a refrigerator or somewhere where they play often with their children, just to be reminded. Just follow their lead and engage, and they've got it. So I'm about to share lots of different ways to access some of the resources. I talk about the app a lot, so I just wanted to pause and remember to share Vroom by text, because some people have had enough of apps or they don't have a smartphone, and a text is a really nice way to get a new idea. So Vroom by text can be in English and in Spanish. It's free. And all a family would need to do to get signed up to these brain building tips is to text STRONG to 48258 or FUERTE to 48258. And they can have multiple children on the texting platform, and they can add any name and any date of birth, but that will really help get the developmentally age-appropriate tips coming through. So that's a really nice alternative. But I like to focus on the app because it's like putting 1,000 ideas into the palm of a parent's hand. And these days, everyone has a phone wherever we go, right? And Vroom's all about being with families on their daily parenting journey. So if you're following along with me now, you could actually scan this QR code you can see on your screen, and it will take you straight away to download the app. You can search for Vroom. It's probably the 3rd one down. It's an orange icon. And one good thing about being virtual is that I get to share it with you on the website. The app and the website pretty much mirror each other. So I can, instead of telling you about all these cool features, I'm going to show you. So I will quickly change my screen while if people are looking at that one. Here's hopefully now you're seeing my website. Thank you. So we have here the Vroom website. It pretty much mirrors the app. So I can show you some really cool things that we can do and how basically I want to show you how easy it is for families to access all these resources at their fingertips, right? So in the top right hand corner, there's an area for an account. Let me just move my video over there. This is where if you wanted to change between English and Spanish, you can change super easy. So if you have a dual language home, this is great to change whatever activity is on the screen between the two languages. We also have the area for children. We have schools and teachers have put their whole classroom on. So as far as I'm aware, you can have an unlimited amount of children on your account. I've got just some example children here. It's so easy to add a new child. A name is optional, a gender is optional. Ideally, they just want a birthday, and that's to get the developmentally appropriate tips direct for families. So you can put any name and age in. It doesn't collect any of that data, so we don't have to worry about privacy. And then let me bring you into the area called tips. This is where families can access a tip really easily. So as I scroll down, you can see maybe they're at a doctor's appointment, maybe they're at the grocery store, maybe they're doing bath time, maybe they're doing some of those chores at home like the laundry, or they're just needing some new games or new ideas to help cleaning up, maybe transitions at home. We need some new games for that as well. Basically, a parent can come here, select anything that they want some support with. This one's on the go in the car. On snack time, they can select any one. I can show you an example mealtime here, and they're going to get some age-appropriate games to play straight away for their child. So this is one of my example accounts, mealtime with Jenny, and then you can see there's a few different games to play. So there, let's have a look. I like to just choose one or two. What's nice about this is there's over 1,000 activities, and I definitely have not been through them all, so I get new ideas as well. This one says, taste test with Jenny. When you're having a meal, hide what you're eating and then describe it and talk about what it looks like, tastes like, smells like, or feels like. See if Jenny can guess what it is just by your description. You can say, I taste something salty and crunchy. What do you think it is? And then give her a turn. So the brainy background, as always, it gives us the science. When you describe different foods, your child is learning lots of new words by experiencing them with their senses. They have to pay close attention to what you're saying to be able to guess, and have to use communication skills to describe their experiences to you. So this one here also talks about the skills of learning to take turns. If families play a game and they love it, they can write, we did it, and see an animation. If they want to keep it in their favorites, they can heart that so they know they can come back to that activity again and again. And this age, Jenny's somewhere between 2 and 3, if people were wondering what age that was made for. But we've got lots of different options for families wherever they are in their day to get really quick activities. Maybe a family tells you they're struggling with diaper changing. You can head into diaper changing and get some new ideas there as well. We also have the search bar at the top. So when you go into that, you've got the activities that you might be doing, or you can also search by skill. So some families may just tell you they're really focusing on literacy, or they're really focusing on math or counting, or if they wanted to tell you, maybe you can go up here, maybe they don't even know what they want to say, but they just want some new ideas, new games to play at home for counting. Danielle's a 5-year-old example child. You can come down here, I added counting, and there's different ways. Here's one called Dinner Bites. So that sounds like mealtime with numeracy, on the go. So taking a walk and adding counting into a little walk. Lots of different ways to add learning together into our everyday routines. Here's another one, doing the laundry. Let's have a look at that one. Counting with laundry. Have Danielle be your laundry counter. How many socks did we wash? Invite her to count out loud. Put her in pairs and ask, how many pairs of socks did we wash? Does she want to keep counting? How about the shirts or the towels? And the brainy background says, even babies that have a sense of numbers. So when you count small numbers of things with children, you help them learn that numbers go in order from little to big. So there's so many different ways you can add all these brain building games into the everyday routines. And this is all free for families to access. It doesn't show you here on the website, but in the app on your phone, you can even, parents can even personalize it by adding a notification. So if they know that they have 10 minutes to play a game with their child at 5 p.m. every night, they can set a notification to come every night of the week, or maybe just weekdays or weekends. They can set the time the notification comes, so they can add 5 p.m. and they can personalize it by even adding the type of room activity they need. So maybe that's 5 p.m. and they need a mealtime tip, or maybe that's 5 p.m. and they want a bath time activity. They can really personalize their experience with the app and get what they need from it as well. And same in the classroom, you can quickly find what you need when you're playing lots of little games throughout the day. Lots of these games work with groups of children, right? Not just one-on-one. Another thing, so that's the app. Hopefully I've shown you how easy it is to navigate. And another thing I wanted just to share as well on the website was, if you go to vroom.org, and I'll make sure all these links are in the PowerPoint, but there's a really nice area for professionals where you guys can go in professionals in Vroom materials. And then if you scroll down, there is the Vroom printable materials. So I said earlier that we had Vroom in 17 languages. This is where you'll find it, but it's also where you'll find groups of Vroom tips. So you can search by content area, language, and age. So maybe you have a family and you just want to send a few math games home that are play-based. You could come here. You can go to content area. You can click that you need math. You then can choose the language that you need it in, the ages of children that you're working with, and you're going to find a few tips here. So it's a really nice way where all the Vroom tips are sorted and organized by area of learning. They're also so easy that you could then print these and send them home that way as well as extra learning, or say, hey, this game was played in school today, have a try at home. They're all here, ready to be downloaded for free and accessed. So I'll make sure that that link's definitely in the PowerPoint as well. One of my favorite, I'm just scrolling down because I wanted to share this is really great for school readiness. We have numeracy tips, literacy tips, but we also have listening tips, communicating tips, working with other tips. So really nice focused areas that you might want to play in the classroom, as well as send home to support families at home as well. Lovely. Let me know if anyone has any questions. That's lots of Vroom tips all in a nutshell of how you can get to there, and I'll jump right back into the PowerPoint just to finish off. So hopefully you can now see that screen, and I'll move it back. Other ways that we try and share Vroom with families is through social media. So we have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We really are wherever families are, and we have really great national accounts that really frequently update with new ideas, new Vroom tips, and it's already made content, so you can just reshare it as well. So that's a really nice way to share Vroom with families. We also have a Vroom YouTube channel. This is great. It has a lot of English and Spanish videos, if that's important for your communities. And it models that positive behavior, right? Because it's videos, so it's parents and children interacting. So just another layer. Easy to share these Vroom tips or these videos through newsletters or however you communicate with your families. And then right at the end, I just pulled together some summaries of ways. There's so many different ways and touch points that you have with families, and different ways you can share Vroom. So I just made a little summary of ideas. So sharing Vroom with families, maybe giving them the information or the flyers at parent-teacher conferences, getting them to download the app, using the tips, having a go at the games in the classroom, maybe adding flyers to book bags, adding Vroom to newsletters or sharing it through social media, having the decals up, creating that physical interactions as well. There's a wealth of ways that we can do touch points with Vroom throughout the year. And I'm always happy to discuss more. That's part of my role, to see how Vroom can be introduced in so many different organizations and layered in so many different ways. That's pretty much it. Before I stop talking, I just wanted to share, because this PowerPoint's going out, all the information that I've shared on all the videos that I played today. They're all here. So if you're like, oh, I want to share that with someone, don't panic. We're going to send it out, and I've got everything here, from the science of brain development to all the different types of videos that we sent, and some more options as well. But I'm really hoping everyone got something new out of this, and they're excited to see Vroom in their classrooms and share it with their families. And I just want to thank you very much for taking the time on a Friday to join and listen in. I do appreciate it. And I will stop talking. Is there any questions coming through?
Awesome. It doesn't look like it. It was just Janet and Carrie saying they did one of those resources. So we'll be sure. Lucy's got her email there as well, and I'll include that kind of email separately in the post-webinar messaging as well. So that's quick and easy to find. So feel free to reach out to Lucy with any questions about getting those direct resources. I myself don't even have children, and I want to download the app now. So you did a fabulous job. Let me double check on Facebook, see if there's anything going on comment-wise over here.
We're excited to share it with your community.
Yeah, absolutely. If any other last minute questions have come up as we wrapped up there, feel free to go ahead and type those in now. Otherwise, we will let you have your Friday back, and I hope everyone has a happy and safe weekend. Lucy, if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out. You've got my contact information, but otherwise, we're so appreciative of your time and your expertise today. This was phenomenal information, and I'm happy to have that to our network to share out. So, all right.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone. Happy Easter. Yeah, happy Easter. Thanks, Janet. You too.